Let's get rolling here. Thanks for being here tonight. I am excited that trainings are back. Thanks to those of you that are watching a little bit later too. I am recording this, so I realize I don't need the mic for the 10 of you that are here. I realize I don't need the mic for the 10 of you that are here, but there's people that are going to watch later. So again, we're recording this, so if you want to go back and watch it later yourselves, you can. Because I know I'm throwing a lot at you. I got smart this time around and gave you a handout. And I also got smart again, and I got double smart this time and made myself a script so that hopefully we're not here for 2.5 hours like we were the last time. For those of you that went to the audio workshop, you remember that. And then Hayden's out there working on homework, but he'll join us when he's done. I told him to just be a student first and get his homework done. So, before we go too much further, let's pray and we'll jump into the night. Lord, we take just a moment and pause in your presence. May we have more moments like those. Thank you for allowing us to be here and to gather in fellowship and to learn about cameras and switching and producing and how these roles work together to glorify you as we grow our skills and grow our relationship with you so that we can serve the kingdom better and so we can share the gospel and share the message of Jesus better. I pray that this night is full of learning and fellowship, and that we all walk away with something we've learned, something new we've learned, a new angle on something, and a new insight. And I pray that we're able to use the knowledge that we learned tonight better for our streams on Sunday and for your glory. Bless us, and in your name, amen. Amen. I'll put my hat on backwards so that I don't have a shadow on my face. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here again, and welcome to Camera Switcher Producer Workshop. Shout out Ramsey for making these slides. I really appreciate his work on that, and he did a great job on them. So, yeah, he did 95% of the work on this. I just helped where I could. Before we dive in, let's see. I'm gonna ignore that. So full disclosure, I did use ChatGPT a little bit to write this script for me. Because I realized I was starting to write, I'm like, no, I'm going to write this way too academically. It's going to sound like I'm reading from a paper. It's not going to be workshop teaching style, and I'm awful at improvising because as soon as I improvise, I go off script. Yeah, like right now. But as I'm standing up here, I'm seeing, you guys all serve in some capacity in camera, switcher, or producer, or you're just here to learn more like Nate. I know you do media and you don't really do any other positions, although I'm sure you'd be open to learning. But I appreciate you being here and learning how these roles all work together and how they help you as a slides operator. Let's see. You guys have mostly ran camera. You two have done everything except you haven't produced or switched. You've done camera. You've done everything. You've done everything except switcher and producer. Both Marks, you guys have done everything. Hayden's done camera mostly, so. And then Ramsey and I have both done a little bit of everything. So we've got a good variety here, which is cool. Some of you, like I just kind of talked through, have done a little bit of everything, and others of you just have like one positional experience, which is great. So we get some different angles and some different perspectives. So I'm really glad you guys are here because what we do on Sunday morning is much more than just technical work. Ramsey, if you want to go to the next slide. Our purpose is to capture worship with creativity, clarity, and seamless flow. The mission of our production team is we seek to see lives transformed and faith deepened as people encounter God through authentic, high-quality media. With excellence and collaboration, we create impactful experiences that inspire, engage, and connect, all to glorify Him. And that mission statement is the heartbeat behind everything we'll talk about today. I did turn the stage displays on. Good. I can't read anything, but good. I know it's coming up. So overview, we'll talk through each of the positions, all three cameras, producer and switcher. We'll talk about how they work together, what's expected, tips and tricks to sharpen your skills, and then a few shots and transitions just in action. I've got some clips at the end that kind of show a little bit of everything, including a multi-view that I recorded months ago and put together finally. So have some of those too. But the goal of tonight is pretty simple. It's to equip you to be the best in your role and to help you see how everything fits together into a seamless worship experience. I'm going to jump off script and add something here. The last 2 weeks, we've stopped streaming to Facebook, as I'm sure you guys know and have noticed. We've actually seen a jump in numbers, which is surprising. I don't know if it means our numbers are more accurate now, but the importance of making sure we're being the best we can is emphasized in those numbers, because not yesterday, but last week, we had 779 watching online, which is, I think that's, it's about 100 more people or 110 more people than we have been having online, which is great. And then this last week, just yesterday, we had 689, I believe, is what the number was in the email I got. So our online audience is growing, I think, I hope. But just goes to show that the importance of making sure that we're smooth and growing our skills, so we can share the gospel better to those watching online. Those expectations I'm not going to talk through. They're just kind of a reminder for you as we start tonight. It's just a good reminder. So take a peek at those. And they're also on your handout too. So, yeah, Mark. What is our online host? Sorry, what you said? Yeah, sorry, what did you ask again? Our online host now? Oh, yeah, so now that we're not streaming to Facebook, Mark asked who our online host streaming service is. The service itself is still Boxcast, so we're still sending out to Boxcast app, Boxcast. I don't know if you can watch directly on Boxcast.com, but the app, the website, and YouTube. So if people are looking for ways to watch our stream, website, Boxcast app on any of your smart TVs, and then YouTube. Ramsey, let's go to the next slide. Also, as I go throughout, if you have questions, feel free to pop a hand up, and I'll do my best to answer them. And also, if there's anything confusing, please ask. Before we dive into the details, I just want to take a step back and kind of zoom out and talk about the how and the why. I think it's important that we start with the how and the why, so that we have as we dive into more of the details and stuff tonight, we have a better idea of the importance behind it. So as camera operators, switchers, and producers, we're all working as one team. Think of us like a band. This is such a weird analogy, but we are, in a sense, like a technical band. Cameras are the instruments providing the sound. Again, weird analogy. The switcher is like the drummer, keeping everything in time, and the producer is like the conductor, setting the rhythm and guiding the flow. I would even throw the director here that stands in the booth at front of house. I would say that he or they are also the conductor as well, setting the rhythm. So the producer and director are kind of both that conductor, setting the rhythm, guiding the flow, making sure we're getting through service. If just one role drops the ball, what happens? Things get missed. We miss transitions. We don't get something out on stage on time, maybe a table or a chair. We miss an impactful moment on stage or in the audience. We miss a slide, something like that. So, yeah. And sometimes we react when we miss something as opposed to trying to be proactive. So again, if we just are a little more proactive in some things, which my hope is that throughout tonight we can be a little more proactive in some things than others. Mark, get your hand up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so to kind of sum up what Mark just said for those watching, the director is kind of like a stage manager in a sense and kind of seeing what's happening out here and communicating with who's doing what and making sure they're in places and doing what they're supposed to. Who's doing prayer, who's preaching, who's bringing the table out, that kind of a thing. Whereas the producer is directing the outside, the outward flow, the what you're seeing online. The producer is more of almost like a storyteller, almost like an author, in the sense of with the camera shots and with communication with the cameras and the switcher and in our camera shots, we're telling a story. Yeah. So yes, that's a good distinction to make. That's why Sunday mornings, I realize I'm not reading directly what's on the slide. But Sunday mornings being here at 7:30 are so important. It's our rehearsal time. Just like the band practices before our worship set, before services, we also need to practice so we can be in flow and in sync and talk through some of these transitions. Producers, switchers, I would encourage you to talk to your cameras about transitions, how you're going to do transitions, what you're going to switch to. Talk through who's leading the songs even before we get to our full team meeting at 8:35 or 8:40. Talk through those things. Make them aware of it so it's when we get to our 8:30, 8:45, 8:35, 8:40 meeting, that's not the first time they're hearing it. It's not the first time they're aware of the transitions. Likewise, cameras, be out here on your headsets practicing shots so that for our switchers and producers, they can help guide the story, help tell the story as a run through. It gives them a chance to kind of see how things are going to flow up here. Now, granted, the band doesn't always do all the songs. They kind of talk through transitions. So just be mindful of that. We're not doing service as written, minute for minute, but talk through those transitions. Talk through different camera shots. Talk through how you want to do that. And cameras likewise, practice your shots. The band is up here practicing. Use rehearsal time to practice those shots. And give your producers and your switchers an idea of what you're going to do during service. Mark, did you have your hand up? Yeah, so Mark was just asking, you know, between the producer and switcher, who's looking at the cameras and saying, hey, one, you need to raise your iris, two, you're a little out of focus, six, you're a little out of focus. I'll jump into that a little bit later. Yeah, I'll jump into that a little bit later. We'll get into it, and I'll answer your question there. Ramsey, go ahead and go to the next slide. Next one. That's just a picture. So, camera one. Let's jump into what camera one is. So, camera one, your role is to help guide the congregation's focus. During worship, maintain a steady and centered shot on the lead vocalist. Sorry. So that people can connect with the moment. During the message, keep the pastor or speaker centered with a steady waist-up shot that feels personal and engaging. Use smooth pans, those side-to-side movements, to add life when fitting, but always keep your shot stable and intentional. And always be ready to follow direction from the switcher or producer, so together we can create a seamless, distraction-free, and powerful experience that points people to God. Yeah, I don't think there's much more I need to say about that. Besides, we don't always have a producer, so switchers, as we're listening to this, as we're going through tonight too, keep in mind that you're not always going to have a producer behind you, so anything that I'm talking about as far as direction and switching and responsibilities of cameras, keep that in mind for yourself too, because you may be switching on your own without a producer sitting behind you. It's just the reality of the volunteer team and the size of a volunteer team right now and people's availability, and also who is trained in what roles. Ramsey, next slide. Camera two. Purpose of camera two is to provide creative shots that support storytelling and dynamic engagement. Responsibilities include focusing on creative compositions and shot variety, such as push and pull movements, and maintaining a full body shot of the speaker, and framing worship moments with energy, all while taking direction from the switcher or producer. During service, stay alert for shot cues, adjust framing smoothly, and ensure that all shots remain clean, stable, and well composed. I'll talk about shot composition a little bit later. You can see on your handout, if you go to the back, I will talk about rule of thirds a little bit, and what that means for us as cameras and what that means for us as producers and switchers. Ramsey, jump to the next slide. So, camera six. The purpose of this role is to capture dynamic, on-the-move visuals during worship. Using the wheeled tripod, I will throw a caveat in here. I know some people like to use the gimbal. If you're able to do that smoothly, let me know, and I'd be happy to set that up for you, but try to let me know before Sunday morning. If you know you're going to be on that week and you know you want to maybe use the Ronin gimbal, shoot me a message sometime during the week before. Ramsey. Oh, yeah, and Ramsey can also set that up for you if I'm busy. Thank you. Where was I? Create smooth and intentional mobile shots that frame worship leaders and the band with energy while avoiding distracting movements. So making sure that we're not cutting people off as we're walking around the worship center, especially if people are coming in late. During that first song, people tend to kind of still file in. Make sure we're not cutting them off and making sure they're able to get to their spots. Also, I've noticed that sometimes with mobile, people will just kind of stand and wait. If you're waiting for your shot to be taken, you can let them know that they're good to move by if you're not live. And you'll know if you're live or not if you're listening to your switcher or your producer. Also, never mind, there's another thought I had, but I don't remember what it was. So these shots include instrument shots, singer shots, focus pulls, crowd shots, and hand-raising shots. Also be ready to take direction from switcher or producer if needed, and remain mindful of your position in relation to the stage, never moving past the subwoofers. The purpose for not being able to move past the subwoofers is, one, our stage is kind of short comparatively. You can, as I jump down, I'll jump down for a second. Like, as I'm standing here, it only goes to just above my knee. So our stage is kind of short, which means we're not really able to hide well. Also, there is a lot of light on the floor still of stage. There's probably a good foot or two of light on the floor. So we're not really able to hide well, and it would just be distracting if we move further past the subwoofers. That's why on mobile we have a 75 to 300 millimeter zoom lens, so that you're able to stand back a little further, but also still get those tight shots. During service, just keep your movements steady. Respect the congregation as they're moving around, trying to find their seats, coming back from the bathroom, whatever. And always keep the shots purposeful and enhancing the worship experience. Ross.
Camera 6, other cameras, take a look at what the camera shots we have static and what's, we're in the back room, take a look at what they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how many times we get a shot that's exactly the same as another camera.
Yeah. So Ross just said that on 6, whether you take a look at the multi-view backstage or you take a look at the multi-view in the production room, look at the multi-view. Because a lot of times we have 6 getting literally the same exact shot that we already have on stage with another static camera. So part of for 6, part of your prep during rehearsal is taking a look at those multi-views and taking a look to see, okay, what static shots do we already have, and what shots should I stay away from because we already have the static shots of those. Ramsey. Sure, you can add a sidebar. We're not in court. We don't sidebar. Yeah, so basically to sum up what Ramsey just said, I'll get to you in a minute, Mark. Basically to sum up what Ramsey just said, if you're on 6 and you are going to get a shot of something that we already have on one of the static cameras, add some movement to it, add some life to it. I'll talk through the Bethel Shake later on, but yeah, add a little bit of life to those shots. Because it's a good way to, create an engaging shot for people at home. Mark, you had something. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So sometimes Mark was talking about perspective. 6 can have a little bit of a better perspective on things. Even just what Ramsey was saying about going from a bass player playing with their hands and just tilting up to their face. Adding, a little bit of a different perspective on some of those shots. Even sometimes having 6, just get different perspectives. I don't know where that thought was going. I have not watched Greenville's stream yet. I probably will be watching that at the end of the month when I have a weekend off. Ramsey, let's jump to the next slide. All right, switchers, producers. Yes, that is the same picture. So switcher, keep in mind this is when we have a producer. It's kind of a mix of when we have a producer and when we don't have a producer. So, switchers. The role of switcher is to manage the live broadcast feed and execute smooth camera transitions. This includes operating the switcher computer and Stream Deck, switching between cameras and graphics in time with a flow of service, and using primarily cuts with creative fades when appropriate or when requested by the producer. During service, follow the producer's direction, switch shots cleanly and in time, and match the energy of the moment, maintaining consistent visual pacing. And we'll talk about pacing and timing a little bit later. Ramsey, next slide. Switchers also listen closely to this slide because, again, when we don't have a producer, you are the producer. You are doing both roles. Producer. Role of producer is to manage the visual flow of the live broadcast by calling camera shots and maintaining a smooth, cohesive rhythm. Responsibilities include using ready for preview and take for live. This is a piece of feedback I got. I'm going to pause for a second. So you guys remember the form I sent out back in April, how am I doing? You guys responded to that and it was all anonymous. One of the pieces of feedback I got was essentially it boiled down to verbiage and having a set verbiage for everybody to use and not letting people stray away from that because I've noticed, and it can get confusing. We always use ready for preview, but whenever we go live, for the live, some people use take, some people say live, some people say cut. It just depends on the person. We all kind of have our own little styles, but the goal is to keep it consistent for everybody so that our cameras know what exactly to listen for. So please, producers and switchers, use ready and take. I believe that is the industry standard, not only across churches, but across just broadcasting professionals. Use ready, take. Ramsey. Yep. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Yeah. When you're switching on your own, that's fine. In a producer role, in a producer role, it's a little smoother if you go ready take for those static shots. I even noticed, when you're just switching on your own, that's fine, right? Just to go take 3, take 5, take 7, take 8, whatever. Which it was a little jarring to me when I was working when I've been working Whitecaps. The camera in the outfield isn't manned, so the camera that shows the batter and the pitcher isn't manned, and so but our directors still say ready take. I was like, that's interesting. It threw me for a loop for a second when I was first starting because I was so used to hearing here. I was so used to hearing take 3, take 5, take 7 for static shots. So, yeah, but in a producer role, use ready for those static shots. Ready for preview, take for live, directing the switcher and guiding camera cuts with creative fades when appropriate. As a producer, depending on the song, there's a caveat for this, depending on the song. Camera shots should be no longer than 3 to 4 seconds each, and during the sermon, camera shots should be switched every 3 to 4 minutes. I'm going to pause again. I know it's hard to do 3 to 4 minutes during the sermon sometimes because Chris will go slide after slide after slide after slide with really no break, or he'll talk about something with really no break. So shoot for 3 to 4 minutes. If he gets a break in there, switch. The goal would be to switch every 3 to 4 minutes. Otherwise, switch as soon as you get to a break. Mark. Yeah. So Mark was just saying he saw Ross do something kind of cool where SuperSource was live with one camera, and then coming out of SuperSource, he went into the other camera. That's actually a great way to switch cameras, to transition cameras. You just have to communicate that ahead of time. And Ross, you did a good job of that this weekend. So we did that a lot. We've done that a lot at the Whitecaps, where we'll go. We'll come out of like a promotional thing, and he'll go, our director in our ear, instead of going to maybe an outro logo or something, he'll go something to the effect of coming out to 1 or coming out to 3 or coming out to 4, something like that. So yeah, you can just say, hey, out of this SuperSource, we're gonna go into camera 2. So something like that. Correct. Yeah, so don't hit SuperSource 1, or don't hit SuperSource 2 if you're live on SuperSource 1, because it'll actually flip it live. Go out to a full screen shot of the camera you want to switch to. The producer should also make sure to utilize all the available camera shots, especially our man cameras. And then, yeah, just keep your mobile cam in mind. Producers and switchers both, they are getting creative shots, a different perspective. So just keep that in mind. During service, maintain clear communication with the switcher, camera ops, and ProPresenter operator to ensure a seamless production. Ross. Yep.
If you can, some of them do really good, some have an idea of a creative shot. Start doing this shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then go to a static place. Somehow we've got to communicate that shot to the producer.
Yep.
Otherwise
Yep. Yeah, so what Ross was just saying was, if you're going to do some type of movement on 6 or on 2 or on 1, start your movement like way earlier than you need to communicate that back to our producer and switcher. Go back to a static shot before you start that move, but yeah, to communicate what you're gonna do with your producer switcher, either talk to them directly. And that'll be a little bit easier when we get around to being able to split comms again. Or do the shot, and then go back static, and then do it again when the switcher or producer call for it. Mark, you had your hand up?
Yeah, there was a time where I was shot. I wasn't understanding. I think what they're going to do is start pan up here or start up here.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept looking, I'm calling shots.
Yeah.
I'm going back and back and back, and I'm like, I was trying to do this. I didn't know.
Yep. Yeah, so if mobile cam ops, if you can just communicate with your switcher and your producers to kind of give them an idea of what kind of shots you're going to do, talk about that during rehearsal. Do that during rehearsal so that they have an idea of what shots you might try to do during service. It goes back to being here for rehearsal and making sure we're actually using our rehearsal time while the band's up here to practice those shots, and to communicate and try those different shots, so we know what's going on. Because, yeah, Mark was just saying that sometimes there was a time he didn't know what 6 was trying to do, and then whoever was running 6 that day, they communicated that later, and so the shot just never happened. So, Ramsey, you can go to the next slide. Yeah, sure.
Sorry, it's something that I just thought about. As a producer, also make sure to communicate, especially if the time, just communicate with that with them so that they turn off their
Yeah, so actually this is actually a good spot before we move on, Ramsey. This is a good spot for me to answer, Mark, your question from earlier about who's looking at iris and focus and that kind of stuff and communicating that. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I don't know whose responsibility that should fall under. I want to say producer, but I feel like that's adding a lot of more things that they have to look for. But I also want to say switcher, but again, that's if you don't know the Stream Deck without looking at it, it's hard to look up here and go ready one, take one while they're looking for iris and focus. Now, if you know the Stream Deck really well, I'll continue in a second. If you know the Stream Deck really well and can operate it while you're not looking directly at it, I would say, switchers, it kind of falls on both people to keep an eye on camera shots. That's probably the best answer I have. Ross?
So doing both, for one thing, when I'm doing
Okay.
it, it's too much, and usually you gotta have the microphone up, switcher, so what I would say is both watch, but tell the producer,
Yeah, that's a good call. Mark?
What else to say?
Yeah. So from what it sounds like, it kind of falls on three different people because there's producers and switchers already doing a lot, and adding this producer position simplified the switcher position a little bit, quite a lot, I think it seems like, but also the director too. Ramsey, I'll get to you in a second. I just don't want you to hold your arm up in the air forever. So it kind of falls on producer, switcher, director. Producer and switcher are for sure keeping an eye on the multi-view because they're back there. Directors in the booth too, if any directors that are watching this later down the road, or that are in the room right now, because I know both of you direct, keep an eye on the multi-view there too, and just communicate that back to your producer or switcher. Now again, that bit will get a little bit easier when we get back to being able to split comms. I really want to do it now. I really do, but I really don't have a good solution for producers because the wireless headsets, I can't wire them. The wireless headsets I can't wire to hear both channel A and channel B. I have yet to be able to figure out how to get channel A into a speaker for them in there. I almost feel like that would be, I don't know if it'd be too distracting, but I've yet to figure out how to get channel A into a speaker in there so that we can split comms so that switcher producer can still hear the director, but they're not hearing it in the headset. Because I know in the headsets it does get really, really muddy when directors are trying to call out transitions and producers and switchers are still trying to switch cameras. My hope going forward is, I will tell you right now, next June I am buying a new comm system. I am putting in the budget for a new comm system because frankly the one we have doesn't allow us to grow much bigger in volunteer team wise than the 12 positions we have right now. I mean, we're capped unless I want to keep homemaking things and jerry-rigging things together. And frankly, this comm system is just a little bit old. So this comm system has been here since we've been in this building, I believe. So it is a good 2025. We got here in 2011, 2012, I think. Yeah, so it's like 12 or 13 years old. So So, yeah, kind of just bear with us, producers, switchers, for the time being. If you can just get to a safe shot while directors are talking through transitions, that would be really good. Ramsey, I promise I haven't forgot about you. I'll get to you in a second. Yeah. I think I'm that thought process finished. Yeah, Ramsey. Correct. Correct. Yeah. So cameras. Ramsey was just saying, be aware of your own iris and how bright you are. Now you won't know. You won't know if you match the other cameras or not. But if you at least notice that you're dark or bright, you can adjust down a little bit or up a little bit, and your producers and your switchers will tell you, hey, actually you're too dark, or hey, actually you're too bright, or even our directors too. Again. Right. Yeah. So the balance between 1, 2, and 6 is really hard because they're all manned cameras, and they're all sitting in different points of the worship center, and so light is getting to them differently. Whereas the ones up here on stage, most lights are hitting them the same, and so it's a little bit easier to balance those out. But again, that goes back to just cameras being aware of your iris, if you're bright, if you're dark, what that looks like. So yeah, makes sense. Any questions, comments, concerns? Cool. Ramsey, I think we can go to the next slide now. Yeah, the color.
Just the color on the side screen. Color, side screen, close. That's the projectors.
I noticed the colors different.
Yeah.
Side scene. Also, last
Yeah, so both Marks are asking about color and talking about color. The side screens, yes, they do match each other, but they do not match the center screen, which, no, and it didn't quite match what we're actually seeing with our eyes in the room either. So I don't know if it's the projectors. I don't know for sure. It's for sure the projectors. The difference is in the projectors are the projectors. Because I'm staring straight into the lights right now. But I know that the center projector, that is the newest one out of the 3, because that was installed right before Zach started. That was installed Zach was doing a walkthrough of the system before he started and got hired, and that was the big thing that they were installing. It was like, oh, we're getting a new projector. So yeah, I don't know what to do about that necessarily, because I do know that we have 1,000 usually between both services that are looking at the projectors and looking on stage here, and to see the color differences can be jarring to some people, and frustrating to some people, and it can even be distracting to some people. So yeah, and then the color temperature differences between 1 and 2, I have to go through and fix those because somehow those got screwed with and messed with, and like they're both off from each other. So yeah, I that's something that I have on my to-do list to do this week, is to fix the balance on those tripods again, and then fix the color temperature on them. So I just got to go through and re-white balance them. But yeah. Does that help answer your question? Okay, cool. All right, tips and tricks. Mark. Yeah.
They would have somebody camera would zoom away, white balance,
Yep.
white card,
Mm-hmm.
that for each camera. And
Yep.
just go what the steps were, what the white balance thing they did, or what.
Most cameras have an auto white balance feature that if we do get a big piece of like white cardstock or even just like a white blank piece of paper, because those cameras can zoom in pretty tight. Ideally, it would be somebody holding, that white piece of paper or white cardstock. I believe our cameras do have an auto white balance feature. It's just a button on the front of it or the side of it. Because I do this all the time when I work Whitecaps games. I go in and white balance every time I set that camera up. Even though it's the same camera, the same ballpark, sometimes it's the same time of day that I've worked. Like if I work a Friday game, usually that's a 6:30, first pitch, and I'm setting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock. The day before, Thursday, it's usually also a 6:30 first pitch, and that camera was already white balanced on Thursday, so at around the same time. So same ballpark, sometimes the same weather too. But yeah, I do that. I white balance every time. So the hope is that I'd be able to white balance our cameras in here, and we'd be able to leave them because we're inside, and the sun and the clouds aren't affecting our white balance at all. So because we're not inside. The hope would be that, I can kind of just set it and leave it in here most weeks out of the year, but. Mm-hmm.
I was lighting changes, actions or whatever.
Probably.
And then for us, what if you have
It does. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I would white balance every Sunday, but there's nothing white in this room. Like that we can kind of just quick grab a white balance of. Like on a baseball field, I'm grabbing white balances of the bases. Like I'll zoom into one of the bases that are just close and I'll white balance and it's just there. Again, I do that every time I work camera. We don't have anything. A piece of cardstock, yeah. I mean, if it's something that if we had a piece of cardstock, big enough for somebody to jump up here and hold, we could actually do between the band getting done and the time we do our meeting. I mean, it would take us 10 minutes. But it's something we could do. Yeah, it's something I can look into and seeing if it's actually plausible to do. Yeah. Any other questions, comments, concerns before I jump into tips and tricks? Okay, so tips and tricks. So stationary cameras, so 1 and 2. There's a knob on your zoom handle that adjusts the speed of how fast it's zooming in and out. So if you're struggling to with going too fast or going too slow, you can adjust that knob to be slower or faster, depending with what you're struggling with. A lot of times, I know camera 2 is really sensitive, and 1 is not as sensitive as I want it to be sometimes. But I know on 2, a lot of times our pushes and pulls are really quick in a slower song. If you just go through and just adjust that knob, just adjust it so you can get that to be a little bit slower and a little more controlled, that'd be great. So camera 6 mobiles, if we call it the Bethel shake. You'll see it in some of the cameras. I don't know why it's called the Bethel shake. I think it's probably a term Brett stole from Bethel because Bethel must do it on their cameras. But it's just a slow figure eight motion on close-ups. It takes a while to actually get to be smooth. Again, that's why we come to Sunday morning rehearsal at 7:30 so we can practice. It does take a steady hand. So try it. Try to do that figure eight motion with the crosshairs and on the center of your screen. Try to just work it slowly. I know it's difficult, but we can teach you it if you don't know it. It just adds some life without being too distracting. Ramsey. Ramsey is offering his help for those that want help with the Bethel shake, or need help with the Bethel shake. Mark. Yes. Yeah, so that's why we practice, right? So we can be subtle with that. It's supposed to be subtle. That's the whole point of it. It's supposed to be just add little subtle movement to it so that it doesn't look like we're just sticking a camera out here and then moving it. Yeah, but we also don't want to make somebody motion sick, right? Like, yeah, so there's subtleness and smoothness is an art with that. I already kind of talked about this a lot, but just again, switchers and producers hanging on, keep an eye on 6. Yeah. I think Mason's our only mobile cam here, and Hayden, but Hayden's working on homework. Hayden, he can't hear me. Hayden, I have a question. I have a question for you. Have you ever tried the Bethel shake on mobile? The little figure eight movement on mobile. Have you ever tried that? Okay. I was just curious. Okay. I know Mason's still learning, so he hasn't had a chance to quite try that yet. The Bethel shake, it's just a smooth, like, subtle figure eight movement to add a little bit of life to your shots on close-ups. Yeah, you would make basically a figure eight with the little crosshairs on your screen, but like not so jarring that it like looks like you're trying to do it. Just subtle enough so like there's just a little bit of movement. Does that make sense? Yeah, talk to Ramsey, he can teach you. Mark, use your hand up. Yeah. Yeah, I not only does that go for 1 and 2, that also goes for 6. Commit to your shot. Like as soon as you go live, you have to commit to it. Do not change it live. I don't care if you're showing somebody like chest or waist up and they've got ample headroom way up here. Don't adjust it down. Just commit to the shot. Commit to the mistake. It's okay. It's how you learn. Just commit to it.
It's okay to say, like, if it's during sermon, you can say, I think I've got too much.
Yep.
Or if it's a song, you're probably.
Yep. Yeah, so just being aware of your shot, and if you need to adjust it during the sermon, either ask to get switched out of as soon as we can, or during a song, just commit to holding it. Don't adjust it because it's only going to be on that shot for a few seconds. Yeah. Ramsey, we can go to the next slide. Rule of thirds. We love the rule of thirds. So the rule of thirds is dividing the frame into 3 parts vertically and horizontally, as you can see in that picture. Placing the subject at the intersections, it feels natural and professional. It feels natural to our eye and professional. A lot of photographers use this rule when they're shooting photos of people or horizon lines or whatever. This is a pretty common rule in videography too. Yeah, Mark.
Yes, I was gonna just say, there are tons of great descriptive videos.
Yes.
Anywhere you think from a to an hour long. How this
Yeah, so Mark was just saying it. There's tons of YouTube videos explaining rule of thirds and the how photographers use it, how videographers use it, and the importance of it. And it's something I've kind of talked about before a little bit, but not really super in depth. So I'm trying to figure out which screen I want to go to. I'll go to this one. Ramsey, I realize I'm walking out of the shot. You don't need to follow me. So you can see in this photo that it is split into thirds. You can see, is that Bailey? Yeah. So the way this one is framed, the subjects are taking up 2/3 of the frame of your shot, and then you have a third that is empty. It allows your eye to feel, it allows you to see that they're leading something. They're singing to something or someone. So if you have multiple people in a shot like that, frame it exactly like that. Try to have the person closest to you in that, would that be the right third? And then the people that are a little bit further away in that middle third, and then leave that other third open. Let it breathe, if that makes sense. Give the shot, give the moment space to breathe. Yeah, there's lots of videos online from 5 minutes to hours talking about rules of thirds. I would encourage you guys to jump on YouTube and kind of learn more about rule of thirds for yourself. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but if it's hard on camera 1 because it's such a straight-on shot. Camera 2, we can do a little better on. It's really a lot of the rule of thirds really does apply to mobile a lot more than our other 2 cameras. And honestly, Ramsey, when we're setting up static shots too, we can take the rule of thirds into effect for static shots on stage, and try to set our static shots to be better too. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, sometimes it doesn't quite work with all of our static shots, but yeah, we can. One is a hard one to do. Camera 1, it's hard to do rule of thirds there because it is such a straight on angle. I don't know if Mark, you have any suggestions for that, but two is a little better of an angle to do to try that with. Yeah. Let's see. Moving on. I think we're getting into examples now. So Ramsey, we'll just have to, can you go to the next slide? So we've got some examples. The first few examples will, again, kind of show everything we've talked about. What shots to get on mobile, polls, pans, even just some examples and some ideas of shots to get during greeting or prayer, or even then there's just some examples of the sermon too. The first video I really like in the way it just adds a different perspective, a different context to our prayer moments. Ramsey, if you want to, just unmute the video. You can leave my mic live. I'm going to try to talk over some of these, and I'll kind of just tell you when to go to the next one. So let's go to the first one. That
we can spend with you. And so, Holy Spirit, you're here.
Can you pause it for a second?
So as we lift that we can spend with you.
So this this is not a great rule of thirds example. He is pretty centered there, although I don't hate that we can see, some of the worship team praying in this far left third, and then Matt is maybe more in this middle third. I wish Matt was a little more in this right third to show that, he's talking to somebody, he's praying to a group of people or praying to something. However, I do really like this shot as a different angle, a different context, a different perspective to our prayer moments. I know it's hard with prayer because we don't know how long people are going to pray for. And so we want to kind of start on one and end on one. But as you're able, I would fade during prayer. And if I'm switching to producing, I will fade during prayers. Use those long fades, those like 1 second, 4 second fades, really creatively in prayers, especially if we have keys playing behind, or if you can have get a shot of the acoustic. Just adds a little bit of storytelling to it, and adds a little bit of context to what's going on in the room as well. I'll get to you in a second. I don't want to hold your hand up forever. It adds a little bit of context to the room because sometimes our online mix is not great, and sometimes we miss keys in there, we miss acoustic, picking in there, and all we hear is whoever's praying. I would even encourage you guys to do that at the end of the sermon too, when Chris is praying, because we typically have keys playing during that too, or acoustic. If we can get a shot to kind of just help give people context at home. I hope people's eyes are, closed at home. Like I would assume they are, but if they're not, there's a little bit of context there to what's happening in the room. Ramsey, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I just want to say, because you're not saying always track it.
No, I would say on mobile, rule of thirds should apply 95% of the time. Correct. If you don't have a rule of thirds shot, don't force it. Again, mobile is going to be a lot easier to get that rule of thirds 95% of the time. You can go ahead and just continue playing that clip.
And so Holy Spirit, you're
I think
here.
it sets a loop.
You're in this place. And so as we lift our praises, God, I pray that
But
there's just a sweet
I like
offering
how
to you.
here I liked how 6 followed Matt there. You can play it again.
That we can spend
Again,
with
I
you.
like
So
this
Holy
perspective.
Spirit, you're
I like the
here.
context
You're in
of this.
place. And so as
So
we
mobiles,
lift our praises, God, I pray
mobile
that there's
cams,
just a sweet offering
go for
to
something
you.
like this, but frame him better than we did in this shot, in this example. And then switchers, producers, keep an eye out for some of those context shots during these moments where there's not a lot going on and you don't really have things to go to. Mobiles, we can help our producers or our switchers out in the storytelling aspect by giving them shots like this to add to our broadcast. Because yes, we are trying to engage people at home in community and in worship, but we're also trying to give them context to what's going on in the room and trying to tell a story too. So each service is a story that we're telling, and switchers and producers, how you cut that is the story we're telling, if that makes sense. Ramsey, go ahead and go to the next one. So this is just an example of a poll. I believe this one started on Satan, and you can see the center focus changes as we continue to pull out from camera 1. You can you play it again, but turn the volume down a little bit? It's just a touch loud. So you can see camera 1 pulling out from Peyton. Just keep playing it over and over. As camera 1 pulls out, it does pan to, I don't know who was on camera this day, but camera 1 does pan there to the left as we're pulling out. helps include the whole band. It helps capture our shot. It doesn't just keep Peyton centered. So as you're pulling out, pan one way or the other to include the whole band in your shot. If you're coming out from the center, I don't know if you can really pan one way or the other to help, catch people in the shot. But as we pan out, or as we pull out and pan a little bit, it'll help, again, capture everybody on stage in the shot without coming out super wide. It allows us to kind of be a little bit tighter still, but still get everybody on stage as we're pulling out. Make sense? Cool. Ramsey, next one. Yeah, so this is just an example of a mobile shot. Go ahead and pause it. That's a funny pause. So I really like this. I really like this shot. It is tight. Can you go back to where that was? Right. Keep going. A little more. Right there. That's good. So this is a tight shot. Again, mobile, you should always shoot for rule of thirds. However, with a really tight shot like this, it's going to be hard with other people in the background. Although that looks like a pretty good rule of thirds shot.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah, like.
Perfect rule of thirds because you've got top, left, intersection.
Yep.
Is third and almost bottom right.
Mm-hmm.
So your eyes draw you to the other person.
Yep.
Looking at. So it's actually very well.
Yeah, this is actually very well placed. Right. So Mark was just saying that Julie is in that like top left third intersection there, and then you can see Calvin here in the bottom like right third section, and the microphone is kind of helping draw your eyes to that. Ramsey, go ahead and start that over from the beginning. I really liked the pan down in there. I think there was a focus pull in there too. So yeah, so you can see there's a lot going on in this shot. If you can just loop that, Ramsey, that'd be great. So not only is it a great rule of third shot, but we add that little bit of Bethel shake. It adds a little bit of movement, adds some energy to our shots. But also the focus pull from Julie to Calvin, I love that. I love that for our mobiles. Again, it adds life, it adds a little bit of creativity, it adds storytelling, adds context. So, pause it. You're good. Pause it at the end, if you can. Sorry, back up to where like Calvin is kind of the focus. Right there. So even in this shot here, like we can still see that Calvin is leading and singing to a group of people. So really well done, whoever was on mobile for this shot. You can go to the next one, Ramsey. So this is a good example of, I wish this shot was brighter, is the only thing. But this is a great example of just showing what's going on in the room during grading. And it's a little more life-giving, I guess is the phrase I'm gonna use, than a camera 8 shot. Because we can see as camera 2 kind of pans across the crowd, you can see a lot of people just grading and shaking hands. And so the people online kind of know what's going on in the room. It's great. So camera 2, use this shot, pull all the way wide, come out all the way wide, and then start on the left of the room, sweep to the right, but go slow. Go slow. The key in this shot is going slow. Yes, the audience creates movement too within this.
So the slower you go, it's fine.
Yep. Yep. So the slower you go, the better, because again, the audience, as Mark was just saying, is kind of helping create the movement in this shot. Funny side note, as I'm watching this again, the tall guy there, John Moderman, that just shook hands with Ben Pierce. I think his name is John. He kind of reminds me of. Have you guys seen the show Switched at Birth? the TV show from like 2013 or so. Anyways, fun side note. Emily and I are watching through that right now. If you remember John Kennish from that show, he reminds me a little bit of him. Anyways, okay, Ramsey, moving on. Yeah, sorry, that's just a fun side note.
The very ones who were supposed
Yes,
to
okay,
love
pause
us.
it. All right, camera 2 people. Yes. This is a great example of the type of shot you should be going for during the sermon. Full body. It is a full body shot. I mean, we're cutting off his feet, but I don't really care. I don't necessarily need to see his feet. But this is a full body shot. This is great. He's centered. Go ahead and play it, and then just loop it.
I love what Hebrews chapter 4, verse 15 records. It says this.
Good follow too as he kind of moves. I'm okay if you let him go a little bit
It says this, for the very ones who were supposed
further
to love
than
us.
that.
I love what Hebrews
But
chapter
just be ready to
4,
move with
15
him.
records. It says this, for the very ones who were supposed to
Good
love us.
follow though. Good framing. Way to have that full body shot. I love that. Ramsey, go to the next one.
The very ones, again, a people who are set free will
So camera 1,
be
this
used by
is
God to set
also a
others
great shot. Waist up, which is what we're going for. Again, we're not shooting a music video, so waist up shots of singers are great too. Is kind of what we want to shoot for in camera 1. But good follow, good framing. He's centered, which is what we want. So this is what we should be looking for on camera 1.
We ourselves have to be free. Again, a people who are set
Yeah,
free
good
will be
follow.
used by
A
God
little
to
jerky
set
on the
other
stop
people
at the
free.
end, but
But for
that'll
us to
smooth
be
out
those
as we do camera 1
freedom
more.
preachers and those who proclaim not just the
It
gospel,
does
but
look like
also
somebody's
ourselves
kicking the
have to
table
be
or
free.
like
Again, a
pounding
people
their
who are
fist
set
on the
free
table.
will be used by God to set other
So
people
for those of us that are sitting in the booth not running camera 1, just know that if we like push on the table or hit it with our knees or like bounce our foot where our knee is hitting the table, it is going to shake that camera. So just be mindful of those movements and be mindful of
freedom preachers,
even just putting your arm down. Be mindful of how hard we're doing that.
people who are set free
yeah,
will be used
'cause it
by
does shake.
God to set other people free.
All right, Ramsey, you can go to the next one. I think this is. Oh yeah, this is a camera 1. Good. This is a good pan on camera 1. Again, with pans, we want to start on one side or the other. Set our headroom to be. Was that me? That's fine. I promise this is not the broken mic. I threw that one away. So you can see as we pan across this nice steady movement, you can kind of see that we've set the shot to be the headroom, kind of be the tallest person on stage, which I think in this shot is Caitlin or Scott, because they're both pretty tall. And it catches everybody as we go across. And I love that. So camera 1, shoot for pans like that. That is your responsibility, camera 1, is pans and lead singer during worship. All right, Ramsey, go ahead and go to the next one. Oh, yes. So this is the explanation for this next one. So this shows everything we've discussed so far. This one and the last one. I've got one more in there that kind of shows everything from not only different camera shots on 6, 1, and 2, but also producers and switchers talking through the switching and all of that. So yeah, Ramsey, go ahead and go to the next slide there. So this is a good pull out on 2. Good switch to a focus on the hand there, and then a focus pull to Emily. I love that on 6. Good push on 1, although 1 you really shouldn't be pushing at all. I really don't want to do any pushes on 1s on 1 because 1 and 2 will have the same push or the same pull. I really would rather 1 stick to pans because 2 is already doing pushes and pulls versus. What? Did you say you hate pans? Yeah, but I know, but that's why we zoom out and set our headroom to the tallest person on stage. Yeah. Yeah, I'll address that in a second. Mark.
I can't process both moving without times going, I don't know what I hate. And so I prefer to have one camera that I know is always going to be doing my mobile shot, doing my
Yeah, so. Right.
lots of movement on both cameras.
Yep. So.
Like church lighting a lot.
Yeah, so. I guess I'm going to kind of address both of these comments in the same. So basically the confusion or the what Mark and Ross are saying is Ross, you were saying that 1, it's easier to have them kind of push and pull because they're focusing on lead singer anyways, so it's easier for them to land on the lead singer. And then you always have kind of a static of the lead singer there anyways, whereas 2, you can pan more and they don't focus on lead singer, so it doesn't matter where they end up. And you don't get caught in a pickle. And then Mark was saying too that like he personally cannot like quite handle 1 and 2 moving and 6 moving, and sometimes kind of just freaks out and says, okay, go to 8 because I don't have a static camera to look at for me to understand what's going on. My hope in my vision and why 1 is panning and 2 is pushing and pulling is, and my vision was that 1 is focusing statically on a lead singer most of the time, but as they feel creative, or as the producer or switcher directs them, they can add some life to their shots by doing pans. 1 is a little more direct on stage, more of a direct angle. That's why I think pans look better on 1 is because it's more of a direct angle. That's why I said pans on camera 1, whereas camera 2 is not such a direct angle, and so like it's great as you come across to the middle, and then as you go, back away this way, you're almost having to zoom in a little bit to keep that same framing. And so it's easier for them to kind of go push in and out. Yes, I'll say yes, switchers, producers, and camera ops can talk about what works for all of them, on any given Sunday. But a default should be 1 panning and focusing on lead singer. So, and let me dwell on this for a second. Camera 1, Yes, we always need a lead singer shot so that our switchers and producers have something to go to. So the majority of the time, I am okay with you just placing your camera on whoever's leading and going hands off. Please, yeah, right. Like, I am okay with a set it and leave it type shot, right? On our lead singer. However, I will encourage camera one, to help give some life to that camera, add some pans in there, but always go back to a lead singer shot. Like, if you start to do a pan and the switcher or producer doesn't cut to you, then go back to that lead singer shot so that we always have a fallback for a fallback on the lead singer, because 6 isn't gonna get the lead singer a whole lot. 2 isn't gonna get the lead singer a whole lot unless they're pulling or pushing. So, is that? Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah, a little bit of a change on camera one is fine. It is good to come out a little bit or go in a little bit. But yeah, Ross, does that help understand kind of where I'm coming from there?
Yes, just to explain a little better what happened. 6 was moving, 2 was pulling out, hitting the end of there, and 1 was getting ready. All of a sudden,
Yeah,
that's the hardest.
I can see the.
If 1 is going to coordination with
Yeah, I think yes, the coordination with the producer is important, especially if one is going to do some movement. I think it's as a producer, you are directing your cameras too. So be direct, direct them, tell them what they, what you need. Try to give them, that heads up.
It's just 1 has to be creative without being creative.
Yes,
2
yes,
and 6 can be very creative.
yes.
1 has to be conscious of
Yep. And so part of that is part of my hope with that is, yeah, we can be more directive. That can also fall on the switcher too. If the switcher is able to because as a producer, you're doing a lot. You're looking and trying to figure out, where am I going next? As a switcher, right now, you're primarily focused on kind of just listening to the producer and switching. So switchers, I am empowering you and encouraging you to give a little bit of direction and, help your producer out. Work in tandem with each other, work as a team, help each other out. And hopefully, and here's my vision with the new comm system, is that the producer will have channels A and B, and the switcher will just be on channel B. That's my vision. And I'm going to make sure it gets set up that way. No, and I realize, because if I do that, it's easy enough for me to pull the producer position back up front to the switcher if we don't have a producer for that weekend. So, and vice versa. So, yeah, switchers, producers work in tandem with each other, work as a team. Yeah, camera one, really focus on that lead singer so we kind of have a fail-safe. And then 2, switchers and producers, let's really try to build into our heads to go to camera 8 on any sort of transition. That way you always have a fail-safe to go to. The camera 8 is your fail-safe, and that shot will never change. It will never look bad. You will never, So try to always go to camera 8 for those transitions. Give yourself a second to breathe and kind of reset for the next song, and then go into your transition. Now, I know it's hard sometimes because they'll go from one song to the next with not much break. So, yeah. Does that help answer? Okay, cool. And then Mark, you had your hand up.
Thinking about every time we could have time for
Yeah.
they can say, I like these shots.
Mm-hmm.
Or we get live.
Yeah, I actually think we can probably build that in right now, because cameras and producers and switchers, your responsibilities are done when the band is done rehearsing until service starts. Your responsibilities are done until our meeting at 8:35 or 8:40, depending on the week. So I would encourage you guys to kind of meet together and, in that in-between time while we're doing mic checks and with Chris and whoever's doing announcements, and slide checks to meet and talk through some of that stuff. Yeah. But I'll encourage you guys to set that up and just say, hey, let's meet right now. Or, hey, let's, grab coffee, water, whatever, and meet back here in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. To talk through some of that stuff. So, make sense? Cool. Ramsey, you can go ahead and go to the next video, I think. Okay, great.
Stage and drums.
Lights, 2, 1, and
Okay,
go.
I love this one because you guys can see what's happening on everything, as well as hear kind of what's going on with our switchers, producers. Even director is in there too, so kind of everybody's on comms. You got audio in there, and then you can see all the
Is that
camera
the colors
shots.
you wanted for this one? Is that the
Ready,
color?
one.
Good.
So
Take one.
I'm gonna shut up for a minute and let you guys kind of just watch this.
Ready, 4. Take 4.
Take some notes, and we'll discuss it in a little bit.
Take 6. Ready, 2. Take 2. Ready, 3. Take 3. Ready, 1.
Not too loud. We do have dance up there still.
Ready, 6. Take 6. Ready, 3. Take 3. Ready, 4. Take 4. Ready, 2. Take 2. Ready, 6. Take 6. Ready, 1. Take 1. Ready, 2. Take 2. Ready, 3. Take 3. Ready, 4. Take 4. Ready, 7. Take 7. Ready, 6. Take 6. Ready, 2. Take 2. Ready, 3. Take 3.
Okay,
Ready,
so you
5.
can bring it down some. Let it run, but you can bring it down some so I can talk over it.
Oh, that was 6. Alright, ready,
Great
2.
mistake. I love it. So
Take 2. No, you're fine.
let's.
Take 3.
I'll share my
three.
thoughts, but I want to
Take
hear
one.
your thoughts first on
Take
this
one, ready,
and
six.
what you're seeing. What's good, what's bad, what could have been done different,
Six.
what could have been done
three.
smoother, what was
Take
what
three.
was good about it.
Ready, 4.
Hit me.
Take 4. Ready, 1. Take 1.
Nothing.
Ready, 2.
Man,
Take
Ramsey's.
2. Ready, 6.
Yeah.
Take 6. Ready, 7.
I've adjusted
Take
cap
7.
space. We have to adjust
Let's see.
Ready, 5.
down during this and then back
Take
up.
5. Oh, really?
Ross
Take
just
2.
admitted he was switching.
Take 2. Take 6.
I'm pretty sure I was on camera 2 that day.
Take 6. Ready, 4. Take 4. Back to 1.
Oh yeah. Miscommunication.
Ready, 2. Take 2. Ready, 6.
Yep.
Take 6. The camera's kind of in the way of that shot. That's fine. Ready, 7. Take 7. Ready, 1. Take 1. Ready 4. Take 4. Ready 2.
Yep.
Take 2. Ready 6. Take 6. Ready 3. Take 3. Ready 2. Take 2. Ready 7. Take 7. Ready 5. Take 5.
Yeah.
Ready 6. Take 6. Ready 4. Take 4. Ready 1. Take 1.
It's fast.
Ready 2. Take 2. Ready 6. Take 6. Ready 3. Take 3. Ready 7. Take 7.
It
Ready
is.
2.
It is.
Take 2. Ready 1. Take 1. Ready 6. Take 6. Ready 4. Take 4. Ready 2. Take 2. Ready 3. Take 3. Ready 7. Take 7. Ready 2. Take 2. Ready 6. Take 6. Ready 1.
Yeah, the shots are
Take
great.
1. Ready 4. Take 4. 4 slides. Ready 6.
Yeah, so
4
Take 6.
slides. Go to Jeff Hudson
37.
in the intro.
Take 7. Ready
Yep.
3.
yeah, so the 3 to 4 seconds I am as I'm sitting here watching this, it's a little tough. It's a little quick.
5.
What it
Now,
looks like.
Take 5. Ready 6. Take 6. Ready 3. Take
yeah.
3. Ready 7. Take 7.
We're
Ready 4.
just a little quick on this,
Take
which
4.
is
Sorry. Ready 1. Take 1.
it's hard. It's a fast
Ready
song,
2.
so you
Take 2.
want to go with the song, right?
Sorry. And ready
Ramsey, not
1.
to say that you're doing a bad job.
Jeff's going to talk.
Awesome, guys.
No, you're doing great.
I know you're matching the excitement of the song, but slow your switches
Yeah,
down just a
yeah,
little bit, especially for this next song.
All right.
We were a little quick on a lot of that song. That song was pretty quick with our switches. So like, yeah, I think we're saying it's about 2.5 seconds. We can hang just a little bit longer. Shoot for that 4-second range. If you're going 4 to 5, that's
Keep coming,
fine.
keep coming, hold it.
Yeah.
That's good. And then when we go into the song, drag it back down. And did you switch colors for this song yet? Next song?
To the Welcome Center and meet either Maddie or Nick out there. We can have a conversation with you, and you can take part in the service
Yeah.
right now in that baptism service. So we are going to continue to celebrate and to see.
All right, 6. Could you grab a shot of Chris, please?
Yeah,
I will go to that in a few.
yeah. So,
Ready 2.
right,
Go to, there you go. Keys,
right.
Take
followed
So,
by
like,
Kathy.
as producers and switchers and camera operators, I'd also encourage you to listen to the
All
worship
right,
set.
take 2.
You guys have access to
sorry.
know what songs we're singing before Thursday even rolls around. So I would encourage you guys to listen to that listen to the worship set, get a feel for the songs,
Take 7.
and start getting an idea
We're
of,
music low,
of
correct?
how,
Good.
huh?
Take
Yeah, they're in Planning Center. Yeah, the songs are in
32.
Planning Center. So,
Take 2.
get
Ready,
a
1.
feel for the songs, get a feel for the speed, the energy, the flow, and then you can
Take
kind
7.
of almost
Ready, 1.
prep yourself for
1.
this.
Ready 6.
I will
6.
say, Ramsey, you have gotten a lot. That
Ready
looks.
4.
She's really white in that
Take
in
4.
6, and really,
Ready 3.
really cool on 6, and really warm on 1.
Take 3.
Yeah.
Ready 2.
So I will say, Ramsey, you have gotten better. This is from Celebration Sunday.
Ready 1. Take 1.
Yeah, it was almost a year ago now. Yeah, Celebration
2.
Sunday last year.
Take 2.
Um,
Ready 3.
I know I'm on 2. I remember. I'm pretty sure I was running 2 that day.
Ready 5. Take 5. Ready 6.
Probably.
Take 6.
Yeah. So
Ready 1.
as we're watching
Take 1,
this,
2, grab Kathy,
Ramsey,
wait,
you did a
wait,
really good
not
job
yet.
of slowing down and
Not yet.
and
Ready,
getting
2.
figuring that
Take 2.
pace out a little bit better when we got to this
Ready,
slower
6.
song. Yeah,
Take 6.
that's the toughest part about
7.
being a switcher, producer is
Take 7.
that flow
four.
and that rhythm, especially with producer going,
All right.
communicating
Two, grab
to
Cassie.
the switcher
Take
and then
four.
the switcher acting out on it.
Ready, one.
Um,
Take one. Ready, two. Six, I see you. Just give me a second.
I would have used a few more fades, I think,
All right.
in this song.
Take two.
By cranking the cafe,
You're doing a
blowing
lot
out
of cutting,
community
which
room right
isn't
now, so I've
bad.
gotta get
We
that
should be cutting like 95% of the
switch to bring it
time
down.
and
That's
kind of
so
using
weird. Ready,
fades to be
Take three.
creative.
Ready, five.
But for this
Take
song, with how slow and like worshipful
Take
it
two.
is, we could have used some
Ready,
more
six, or
more
seven,
fades
sorry.
in there. Yeah,
Take seven. Ready, one.
yeah, fades can be rhythmic.
Take one.
Yep,
Four.
fades can be rhythmic.
Take four. Ready, six. Take six.
The
Yeah.
calling,
Ready, two?
the ready and the take is really good.
Take two.
All the camera shots are really pretty
Ready,
good.
three.
One,
Ready, four.
as I'm watching this,
Take four.
one could have added some
Ready, six.
pans in there.
Take six. Ready, one.
I would not have minded that, but again, one, your responsibility is the lead singer.
Ready,
So
two.
if you're on the lead singer,
Take
most
two.
of the time, statically is
Ready,
fine.
three.
Um,
Ready,
yeah,
five.
Ramsey, your hand up.
Oh, sorry, six. I missed my hand. Take five. Ready, two. Take two. Oh, I didn't realize it was going back to Cassie. It's fine. One, can you grab Cassie, please?
What?
One, can you grab Cassie, please? Thank you. Ready, one. Take one. Ready, six.
Are you talking about the Bessel
Take
shake
six.
on 1 and 2?
Ready,
I
three.
would stay away from that. It's hard to
three.
do with those cameras
Ready, four.
because
Take four.
of
Final
where
five. We go to
the
Lexi.
adjustments you
One,
have
Lexi,
to
please.
make,
Ready, two.
and then you have to tighten that back
two.
down and all that. I would stay away
Take
from
seven.
it. Yeah. Ramsey was just asking about the Bethel shake on 1 and 2.
Take seven.
I would stay away from it.
Ready, four.
But
Take four.
Yep, keys and then Lexi for
Ready,
this next one.
Keys. Take keys. Seven. Sorry.
Make the switch to your stained glass.
yeah.
Ready,
So
one.
Ramsey, can you turn it down a little bit more?
That's the issue. But Scott, all I hear is Scott.
You can. Scott is really loud.
six.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like,
Well, it's hard. I know. It's a tough. Yes, it's. I live with one, so. Yeah.
Ready, one.
Switchers, when you have a producer behind you, you really can't wear the headset.
Two.
It's really too difficult.
Take two. Ready, four. Take four.
Yeah.
Hey, six,
The one thing we
Can
don't
you
see
just
here
picture the choir up
is
Take two. Oh yeah, she can.
Ramsey. And this is. I promise this is not a knock on you.
Take six.
The one thing we don't see though is
Yeah,
the
great.
transition to
One,
8
two,
between
ready,
things.
Ready, one.
Between
Five, one.
songs, well, it's really just been between
two.
songs.
Take
A lot of times I feel like we get caught on
Oh, yeah,
one
you don't watch
at the end of the song where they're not singing.
Yeah.
Whoever the lead singer is, we get caught on them, and they're not singing because we're just waiting for the transition to happen. It's a great time to go to camera 8. Give
Take three. Ready, two.
right.
Two. Ready, one.
So
Take one.
yeah, like if we're switching, to camera 8, like on the last line of the song, I'm good with that because it gives our stream a quote unquote a chance to breathe. And it gives you as a producer or switcher a chance to breathe and kind of reset and make sure you know where you're going with the next song.
Three.
And make sure we know where that transition, is, whether it's a key start or a drum start, an acoustic start, or whatever, and making sure we have a camera on it. Mark, you had your hand up.
Ready, two. Take two.
Yeah.
Ready, one.
Yes.
Take one. Ready, three.
Yes.
Take
Exactly.
three. Ready, six.
Ramsey, you can go ahead and kill this.
Six.
Yeah, I'm good on that. You can throw the last slide up there if you want, but I'm going to talk here for a second. The other thing I'll encourage you guys to do too, switchers and producers, is I know this is tough because it doesn't happen for a very long period of time in the sermon, but when Chris does that crowd interaction, whether there's clapping or some hoots and hollers, at the beginning, sometimes Chris will do it at the beginning of the sermon, get people engaged right away. Whether it's I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example because I don't have any good examples in my videos.
Sunday where Lexi was,
Yeah, Sunday, we missed that.
and we couldn't get it because we couldn't find her fast.
Yep. So yeah, and that was partially on me because I didn't communicate that. So Sunday, Chris did after he introduced himself and all that, he thanked Lexi for her time of service here, because Lexi is stepping off staff. Yeah, her last day is Wednesday this week, so this was her last Sunday in the building. So yeah, she's stepping off and dropping to like 10 or 15 hours a week, just really remote, doing, absolutely necessary things, until we find a new communications director. But I knew ahead of time, because we talked about it in our WAT meeting on Tuesday or Wednesday. Was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day it was. He talked about, Chris actually talked about mentioning Lexi, and we just missed it. And I missed communicating that to you. I think I even just missed communicating that again to you guys between services too.
Well, yeah, second service, we knew it was going to happen second service, but it's that planning ahead. If we would have known where she was,
Yeah.
we could have got to her.
Yep. Well, and part of that is I didn't communicate. I knew where she was sitting. Like because she sits at the same table every week. So, again, that's,
Dad was camera two.
yeah, you can't see it. That's just a miscommunication on my part. So, No, it was right at the beginning of Chris's sermon on Sunday. We did in looping. I did not actually have that in the presentation itself. That would have worked. It would have worked. I realize that now. Like, good idea, Mark. Yeah, Right. Like, pull out the Harry Potter, time thing, because I can't remember the name of it now. The time turner. That's what it is. Yeah, Emily was sick all last week, so she was watching Harry Potter movies while she was laying on the couch feeling awful. Yeah, and I walked in the door. I came home from work, and that's the scene it was on, was the time turning scene. If only we had one of those to go back and do it. But I went a little longer than I wanted to, but I also got started a little later than I thought I was going to, which is fine. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything I can help clarify while we're sitting here? Do you have your hand up? No, you're stretching. Oh, yeah, lighting, good question. It's dark on our edges, where usually, like, if we have 5 singers up, like, where the piano is now is dark, and where the bass normally stands is a little bit dark. I have not adjusted that yet. I really need to. I think I can do it. I just got to actually get up in the ceiling and figure out how and what and why. It's been on my list of things to do, and other things have just taken priority. So, one on the cross too. Yeah. Yeah, That's yes. I love your thinking there with the shot of the cross. Caden was just talking about how he was trying to get a shot of the cross. I think I set this. I think we do. I could also set something up, kind of just tilted up at it too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The cross? Block the drummer? Yeah.
You can't see the drummer through the reflective glass.
No, you can't.
Use camera 3 for
True. The only thing is I think it would get tight there with, because usually the bass player normally stands somewhere in this area, depending on the week and how many people we have. So I think it would get tight. So I can't go to that side because it's blocking the screen. I can't really go to this side because it's blocking the screen. So I really have like this section to move it to. So, I mean, if the cross was shorter, then yeah, I think it'd be, less wide of a base, we could do it. But I think it'd just be tight there. I'd hate for somebody to accidentally back up into it and then fall, or like fall on the drum kit, and we'd end up on one of those worship fails pages. Anyways, any other questions, comments, concerns, things I can help clarify? Ra.
If something were to happen on Sunday, what do we do to get out? Got cameras in the is there a way to hear this broadcast there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The SOPs. Yeah. Ramsey, can you jump into Boxcast and extend this? Because I think I have it cut off at 8:30. I was going to add a section about notes and like a quick reference guide. Yeah. And then Ross, you're asking about like if we have an emergency in the room. And it's like something where we need to all evacuate.
Evacuate, or even online, if we've got to cut the online or anything like that. What's our process?
Don't have one. That's something.
where you don't want what's going on. You gotta set TV live. Go to Hero Postal and shoot everything
Yeah. That could be a failsafe for us. Yeah. So.
Know your safety and fix this problem.
Right. So we actually don't have a process in place. Yes, it's something that has kind of been sitting on the back burner of my mind for a while, because we did have a meeting. We had an all-staff meeting with Rick and Steve, who kind of are like head of security, where we talked through the security handbook, and so we know what security team is doing, all that. But I think that was one of the questions that somebody asked was, what do we do with the stream? How do we communicate that? Something that we like briefly touched on, and then we haven't really touched it since. It's something I just don't know what to do with, because one of the other questions was, Steve asked me or Dan or somebody else asked if we record our cameras, and I said no. We'll only see what you only see what happens out online. That's the only recording we have, and so like, I think it was Tristan. She asked that question. That's beside the point. Like if something happened and we needed evidence, we need to give evidence to the police to help them with their case or help them find the person, whatever. We actually don't have the ability to do that right now. Besides that security camera up there, which is just a wide shot of the room, and then if you zoom in, it's really not great when you crop it down. Yes. Yeah, so I because I so I have looked into doing that because I was kind of just looking into a way to better record multi-view anyways, besides recording to hard drive and off of the switcher. And the issue I was running into is that the SD cards I've looked at and the ones I've bought, sorry, hold on. Never mind, I thought I just sneezed. Okay. The SD cards I've looked at and online and I bought one or two. There's super specific cards that work with that. And so if you can't just buy any SD card that's, 128 gigs or whatever. Most of them are like 32 or 64. And the thing I run into is that multi-view takes up both services is about 16 gigs. And so if I'm trying to record, usually I want to try to record both services so that I can kind of pick which one is maybe a little bit better. I don't really there's not much space there. It's only able to record, I think I maxed out at, 8. Maybe I was looking for maybe a smaller file size is what I was trying to do too. I was trying to make those recordings smaller because they were taking up like 11, 12, 13 gigs on my hard drive for just one recording. So.
Well, if we were doing it right over.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, we could do that too. Yeah. Yeah, that's something to think about. I just want to make sure we have enough, we get a big enough card that works, and I'm able to get everything and it just not cut off. Because it's something really specific. It's got to be like a certain megabyte rate too. So it's like, I think it's got to. Yeah. I think what I was. Yep, exactly. Yeah, so super specific. Anything else? Cool. I'll answer your trivia question after. Cool. Let me pray, and then you guys can get out of here and enjoy the rest of your readings. Lord, thank you for our time together as we gathered to learn cameras, switching, and producing, and how we can use those positions to best glorify you and to use our skill set to best glorify you and project the gospel and the message of Jesus to the best of our ability. Thank you for, again, just a time of fellowship and learning. And I pray that we all learn something, have a new insight, have a new angle on something, and that we can put that into our skill set and put our skill set to use. I pray that everybody has a safe travel home tonight, and that we're all refreshed and ready to go for the rest of the week. In your name, amen. Amen.